I like the 23-3 games, to tell you the truth, Hank. I think that as the game went on, there was a penalty that sustained a drive. Very unusual for Perry to fumble a ball that actually had a perfect bounce and bounced right up into a guy's hand that, he goes all the way for a touchdown. And so the change of events that happened in the game, causes you to reflect on, hey, listen, either we got to play better or we're going to have to do something to try to, catch up or minimize what just happened to us. And I think the learning point from that was the latter. What the guys learned how to, there were third down conversions. There was a fourth down conversion. Matt Snyder dropped the pass before the previous pass and then made a big catch after that. And so I think the ability to learn how to succeed in that area, that's where the learning curve for us. I think it will improve us as a football team. But obviously, you always like to win games at a margin that's a comfortable margin, but you never know what your team is really made of sometimes until you're faced with adversity or till you have to come back, and to have literally a last-second win, is nothing but a positive learning experience for this team. The efficiency of operating, very seldom do you see 15-play drives. Sometimes, maybe the nature of the offense, quick strike offense, or maybe sometimes offenses aren't quite patient enough to run an offense and move it down the field. But I think collectively, everybody's mind were on the same goal. The protections were good. The routes and the side adjust and the quarterback's reads. They were good. So I think when you can go back and you look back to execution, and that's always the thing in games. In the end, at the beginning, and I think in the end, the execution was exactly where we needed to be. We needed for some of those plays to be made, for some of those players to make some of the plays they did. I know Perry felt bad because of the fumble. The way it happened, turned into a score for them. And then if you see when he dove over the end zone for the touchdown, and he had both hands, elbows, and knees wrapped around the ball because he just didn't want to give that up. So and the players are conscious of that, of the moment of making sure that this was it, this was it, for us. And even on the defensive side, as I said, Cam having the awareness of getting the ball out when he did. So it's a positive thing. It's a positive thing for the offense for being able to move the ball like that and just know where the sticks were, know where the first down was, know the timeout situation. There were no substitution issues. There were no penalties. So it just it was good to see the model of what efficiency looks like. And now we just have to keep doing that at the beginning of the game, middle of the game, third quarter, early in the fourth quarter. That's what we're trying to keep doing. And he's getting there. Clifton is a work in progress also, and he'll start to see more carries, more opportunities to get in the game. He provides another type of back. Big back that can run. And we need to get him in the game. We will get him more involved in the game plan. He doesn't know the whole offense, but just like some of these other younger guys, they're learning as we go along, and now it's time for us to also accelerate his opportunities, to touch the ball. One of the stats we always take is about the pressures and the hits on the quarterback, and I think, the 3 sacks, there were, I believe, close to a dozen pressures, multiple hits on the quarterback. Unfortunately, one of them ended in a personal foul with Cam, but those are the things that you try to make the quarterback move his feet, not stay in the pocket. Now, a couple of times he got out of the pocket by athleticism and, not having a contained element in it. But I think that, that we got after him enough that, it didn't turn into a 7-on-7 pass scale where the quarterback just sits back there and has all day to throw. And I think that's the key. And that's where we're hoping a guy like Cam Johnson and Billy Schultz and Jake Snyder, have an opportunity to apply more pressure, because as we start going in, into this game coming up and other games, pass rushes are always an important element of pass defense. There's a measured amount of improvement. Leroy Reynolds has upped his tackle total, tackles for a loss. He's been in position a lot of times. He's running around pretty good, and he comes in, he watches that. He does all the things that a player that wants to be really good, what they do. Extra film session, and taking care of his body, and just little things like that. Asar, Steve Greer, all those guys have taken pride in the fact that, Steve Greer, the middle linebacker, calls the defenses, gets everybody lined up. The linebackers make the adjustments. They move the linemen inside or outside. They make the adjustments with the secondary now. So I think, as we talked about before, the second time around for them, that they're playing a linebacker position much better. I am confident of Robert. At the beginning of the preseason, we were talking about the strengths of the team, and obviously our kickers, were one of the elements that we had to be better at. All of them, played last year, started last year, and Robert, his distance has gotten pretty good. We talked about where the cliff is, meaning where the offense would have to get the ball to in order for him to have a successful shot at it. And remember last year, sometimes we talked about getting to the 25 or the 27-yard line, sometimes even the 30-yard line. But now, 33, 35, 36, yard line, and it helps because a guy that's got a leg like that, and I understand he kicked a couple that had room to spare. So I think Robert's just more focused. What happens when you have an older guy that's been in games before, kicked, pressure spots before. I understand that this kick was his first career, last second win, and I'm sure there's something he'll savor, and maybe he might have a chance to do it again before the season's over. Again, as a team, I talked about after the game the resolve of a team that, normally when you've been in a situation where you haven't won any home games, you've gotten into the thick of games and you've lost close games, that it's easy to go south. And I think that I talked about on the sideline, the talk was all positive, and that hadn't been in the case in the past. And so it was positive to see that there's a mindset as you try to start changing cultures academically, in the community, athletically, that hopefully it's starting to buy in a little bit about, seeing yourself having success rather than here we go again. And I think that this game and maybe other games to follow, who knows, will be games we'll be able to exhibit, those type of qualities, for this year's team.